It's Thursday, the 24th of October. My name is Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel, and today we're mourning the loss of Chuck Coleman and analyzing the maneuvers that took his life at the Las Cruces air show here recently. Chuck is well known in the air show industry, aviator, engineer, mentor pilot, worked on many of the Top Gun training scenarios for the actors that were learning to how to speak under high G loading, as Tom Cruise wanted the realism of his movie notched up as far as he possibly could. There's an excellent interview of Chuck here at Joseph's Video and Photography YouTube page, where Chuck explains his passion for aerobatics and flying. Low-level aerobatics is performed by pilots that have a passion for aviation unlike that found nearly anywhere else in aviation, especially in the comment section below by some of the many armchair aviators that have no idea about this level of precision flying and the time, effort, energy, and choreography and precision that it takes to perform these maneuvers. But those that do this sort of flying are well aware of the dangers, and if you stay in this business long enough, you will experience the loss of your friends. The aircraft that Chuck was flying was the 2009 Extra 300L, certified for up to plus or minus 10 Gs through the modern miracle of material science, and powered by the Lycoming AEIO 540 engine, 540 cubic inches, putting out about 300 horsepower, fuel-injected, naturally aspirated engine. I bring up the point about naturally aspirated engines because this accident occurred at Las Cruces Airport on Sunday, where the field elevation is 4,457 feet, and the air temperature at the time was estimated to be about 75 degrees. Density altitude. What's density altitude? Well, specifically, it's pressure altitude corrected for temperature. What does it mean? The warmer it gets, the thinner the air gets. The lower the pressure, the thinner the air gets. At Las Cruces, even if it was a standard pressure day, 4,500 feet, at a temperature of 75 degrees, you would find this 4,500 foot line along this chart and roll up this way until you reach 75 degrees down here, and then cut across to the left and find your density altitude well north of 6,000 feet. 6,500 feet density altitude. Your aircraft is going to handle substantially different at a higher density altitude than it does at sea level. And the performers know this, and they practice for this, but it gives them even less margin for error than they already have. And they don't run turbochargers because the turbocharger can't handle the extreme punishment that these engines go through, specifically the fluctuations in oil pressure that these engines suffer during their aerobatic routines. So let's take a closer look at this maneuver that Chuck was performing at the time of the crash. This is the exact same maneuver he did the day before. His entire airshow routine is carefully choreographed and is done exactly the same each time. Looking at this video from Chuck Coleman Air Shows, we don't see the setup for the tumbling maneuver that he's about to attempt, but we get it right here where he starts the tumbling maneuver. He starts with a tumble, what you might call a shoulder roll sort of tumble, and transitions to a knife edge sort of tumble, and then is meant to recover from there. Let's look at that again in a little slower speed. Slowing it down now to half speed, kind of a cockpit view of the tumble maneuver. So boom, flipping it over from a shoulder roll, transitioning to a knife edge tumble and recover. Aviation YouTuber Brian Murray has an excellent video that the NTSB is going to want to look at as well, comparing Chuck's Saturday performance with his Sunday performance. Brian was able to film the Saturday performance and then puts the two video clips together side by side, comparing the two different performances, showing just how closely matched the choreography is between the 2 days. See the link below for the link to Brian's video here. We'll take a look at a clip from Brian's video where he compares Friday's performance here on the left and the fatal performance here on the right. Just about the same entry. Little change in the weather. More cumulus clouds. Okay, the first thing investigators will be looking at is the speed and the altitude at which this maneuver was entered. On the day of the crash, was the speed and altitude the same as the day prior? Chuck gets it up on the 45 line, does 2 aileron rolls. But here on the Saturday maneuver, he has lost quite a bit of his 45 line in his aileron rolls. Again, lowering his altitude slightly. So he initiates the tumbling maneuver, sort of a shoulder roll, if you will, type of tumbling maneuver. Over, and now transitions. He's going to do this twice to a more of a knife edge tumble. But on the day of the fatal accident, he didn't quite transition to that knife edge tumble that he normally does. The aircraft is still primarily inverted, and it simply runs out of energy to continue the tumble right there. And the right wing stalls immediately. And, of course, the thing to do to recover is to pull the nose down, which he does. He recovers instantly, but, of course, he's just simply too low to the ground now. Not enough room to recover. And then, of course, as you get closer to the ground, any of us and all of us faced with that situation, with that ground rush coming up to us, we're going to pull and we're going to initiate a secondary stall and snap. And in this case, it looked like the right wing stalled and began a snap into the ground. Taking a closer look at the accident sequence. Diving down to get your energy for the beginning of the maneuver. Investigators will be looking at that altitude and airspeed right there, the gateway into the maneuver. Get your 45-degree line up. This is at reduced speed. 2 left aileron rolls to an inverted, and now begin your tumble maneuver. Push it over now. Get 1 tumble. And now transition to a second tumble, which is more of a knife edge, but right there the aircraft stalls in the inverted position. Remember, you can stall an aircraft at any attitude and any airspeed, but only one critical angle of attack. And whether the aircraft is right side up or upside down, you're going to have a critical angle of attack for that airfoil. Of course, these aerobatic aircraft are running symmetrical airfoils. Nevertheless, you'll stall a wing inverted just as well as you will right side up. And the recovery for that is get the nose down, get the airflow reattached to the wing, but you're simply too low to the ground at this point, and the recovery was not meant to be from the inverted position. It was meant to be from the upright position with the nose heading down. So just a split-second difference in timing and precision on the maneuver in a higher density altitude environment shows you just how close to the feathered edge these aerobatic performers are performing. And if you stay in the game long enough, you will end up knowing a few people that have paid the ultimate price. Thank you so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks that support this channel on Patreon. See you here.